Hello everyone and welcome back to a bit more of the Galactic Divide mod here in Star Wars, and this time around we are playing with the droids here, and this is a replay as we are playing with the droidicas versus the clone troops from the prequel trilogy. So we have phase 1 clone troopers here coming in their little transports and coming in on the ATRT little walkers, plus a couple of the ATT AA units here coming around as well. Moving around the battlefield, forward deploy zone here coming in as well. The Juggernaut moving around, capturing points here with some more clone leaders inside. And on the side of the droids, the Magnificent frigate coming in here is the first bigger ship from the get-go, opening up the game a bit different. Juggernaut firing its rocket salvo there as the Magnificent is getting closer. Vulture droid is already getting hit here. That came in to prevent some torpedo units from coming around. Good damage against the Juggernaut, but no kill just yet. The ATTFA gets the Vulture droid and will start aiming for the Magnificent as well. So that enabled me to get a bit more ground here. The ion cannons could be deployed relatively far forward here on this map as well. So they are deployed up there. The turbo laser towers can only be deployed towards spawn, and the shield generator, same thing. That gives a defense bonus. We have a couple of droidicars rolling around here, and they get the shield when they stop moving around. And once they stop moving, they get the shield here, and then they also get the bonus of having protection against all plaster fire. So really helpful against infantry. Unfortunately, so far no infantry around here. This side we have some BX commandos, the special droids, special forces droids with some E60R rockets and some plasters, whilst on the other side some normal clone troopers here moving around. The Juggernaut capturing the spots. These infantry transports here having some fire support weapons here, whilst the phase 1 clones just sit around. Magnificent coming around, trying to get some more damage onto the enemy units, getting a kill there. But on the other side we have a big ship as well now. Venator class coming out and hunting down our somewhat smaller frigate here. So we have to be careful by opening up fire against the BX commandos on the ground as well. The hyena torpedoes coming in, getting some good shots out. Have to be careful to not get killed. Will survive and did deal a good amount of damage there. Vulture droids trying to hunt the headhunters here. Headhunters turning around, getting the better of the Vulture droids, but the AA on the ground does get some damage onto them. Now the Venator starting to hunt down the Magnificent, and the Magnificent not dealing all that much damage against the Venator. But the Venator is chewing into the Magnificent. Frigate here outclassed. Has to fall back as gets hit by more and more gunfire and torpedoes here. But it will survive for now. So it loses half its hit point here, whilst the Venator got damaged from the torpedoes, but the damage of the Magnificent that it took was pretty insignificant. There, one more good hint here, so the Magnificent has to hide behind the ion cannons and the AA droids on the ground here. These guys coming in with some A21XR AAs and the Clankers here. Rogering forward. All the voice lines are in when you play as them yourself. Unfortunately, they don't pop up in the spectator mode. You also get some of the flying droids here on the speeder. There's another hyena torpedo bomber comes in and gets some more hits towards the Venator. And has to be careful. Engagement in the north. Support weapon here. Pushing in towards some of the light transports. Starting to overwhelm them. Triticas holding the center. But yeah, capture still has to be sent up towards the middle. Headhunter flying above all of this. Really beautiful little model here as well. That 95. As the Juggernaut gets resupplied on the fob. Fob currently still the OG 101. Moving around here. Venator staying behind the battlefield. And there come some Y-wing torpedoes to try to deal with our frigate over there. And they are really, really dangerous. Two of them could deal that half-life damage, so have to be careful there. Droid gunship coming in here as fire support on the ground. Immediately took out light vehicle there, whilst the battle droids moving towards the middle, trying to get the capture. Here come the torpedoes. And the AA here currently not that great. And so does our ship go down. We get one Y-wing, but the other one gets out. And that was a good kill there. Y-wings, if you kill two of them, the Magnificent is still trading up okay. But a 1v2 trade, obviously not so great. Juggernaut got destroyed here, and that's something that I figured out whilst playing. And once I killed the Juggernaut, these droid assassins currently are a bit broken in the game. They should be changed soon. I already informed the creator of the mod, but the thing is they have 10 sniper rifles, and they use the base game Warno sniper mod, which means that they get plus 500% damage and an accuracy bonus when they stay static, and their stats moving aren't that amazing, but once they get static, they just annihilate enemy units, as you can see here right now. They have to stay static for a while, and flames like the ones that were created there just now mean that they have to move, so they lose the trade. So it's not completely unbeatable, and the Venator just annihilates them in a quick second. But if you don't quite realize what's happened, they are really, really strong. And there, here you hear a bit of the chatter of these guys moving around. Zone troopers moving in. Whilst 3D cars here sitting around on the side, but they obviously have to be all careful with the Venator still in the sky. The blue team has a big advantage right now. And yeah, there we go. Tritica just getting completely annihilated. PX commandos have to be careful as well. It needs some anti-air there to deal with that. We have a slow AA Walker coming in. Will take a while to arrive on the front line. The Iron Cannon at least can help out a bit against things that get a bit closer, but currently not that great. We have a LAT gunship coming around here, hovering around the battlefield as well, and the battlefield is going currently in favor of the clones. The Venator is just completely swinging the power balance right now, and it's now moving towards the center for the kill. Stab here, doing a good job. These things are surprisingly efficient, trying its best there. Y-wing bomber coming in, and that's a pretty good bomb drop here on the Hellfire tanks, but that Y-wing at least goes down. We have a hyena torpedo that also gets some good shots towards the Venator, and the Headhunter goes down on the other side. One hyena torpedo bomber goes down, but Venator at least now at half hit points will still need a couple more to actually fully go down though. Well, it's battle droids currently holding the flank. We have a good couple more running in here. Rogering around. Venator gets a couple of shots, but eats a couple more torpedoes here. So now below half hit points. There come more. Currently in the mod is also, because the repair time is something that modders can't change right now, and it's based on the hit point, and each hit point takes a minute. So a Venator damaged like this wouldn't come back for repairs anytime, but the torpedoes do finish the job here anyways, and the Venator does go down. So Venator bites the dust, and Battle Droid Assassins here in a good spot in the middle, waiting for more victims moving around. +1 currently for the other side. We bring a big landing craft out here as well to resupply the front line, and also bring in big guns. These things maybe a bit oversized currently in the mod. I feel like they could be 20% smaller, or maybe even 30% smaller, and it would still fit the scale of the mod, though. Obviously, the big battleships are all scaled down a good bit. Otherwise, they just wouldn't fit at all. LAAT gunship here, engaging the armored assault tank. Armored assault tank fighting against the Phase 1 clone troopers. Landing craft comes around, but the Falchion class assault tank, AA tank here, does get a hit against it. Does immediately take a lot of the hit points away. The landing craft opens up onto some Banthas and does a good job there. Annihilating all of that, annihilating the headhunter, but the Falchion is reloading. And once that gets a second shot out here, this would be troublesome. So this needs to get out of there. ATTE coming around. Those are pretty strong walkers as well, that you likely know if you watched any of the Clone Wars stuff. Really nice little walker as well. And yeah, the Falchion here reloading. Didn't quite realize what that was. Wasn't familiar with that unit at all. And there comes the second shot, and with that, our unit does crash into the ground. We get the Y-Wing, but the bombs get all of our units in this corner here as well. So center does fall to the enemy again. We have a decent amount of forces here trying to set up a push. Hailfire droid tank gets killed off in the center, and the clones hold the center now. Clone troopers here holding the floor. There are, by the way, also works on the first couple of maps for the mod. Issue is that there are a couple issues currently with the like finishing touches for maps in the map editor, and finalizing the maps is currently not really possible, or at least quite complicated with in the mod tools. So once Eugen has fixed that, that hopefully also will enable some fitting Star Wars maps for this mod, like some Naboo or Tatooine or so maps to come around for these guys to fight on, and obviously Hoth for the fights for the Empire versus Rebels and so on. LAAT here eating it from the Battle Droid Assassins. They just absolutely annihilate this, and there it goes. The units over here, B2 Battle Droids now, the ones with the wrist cannons, doing a good job as well. But the bomber comes in and takes him immediately out again. We have another Magnificent coming around, doing good damage here towards the center forces of the enemy, but immediately a good couple of torpedoes coming around here and taking out those guys, and the torpedoes even make it out. So that was a bit of a waste of a good couple of points, 300 points those guys cost. So yeah, push forward here with multi-troop transport, which is basically a anti-infantry tank in this form with the autocannons on the front, while battle droids move forward. B1 droids in the front, B2 droids in the rear. These little transports, I believe, are an own creation thingers of for the mod, because there was a transport missing, because in Warno transports are really important. Not quite as much in the Star Wars lore, so a couple more light transports were needed. The Banthams on the other side are a similar thing. The Hyena bomber here trying to come around. The Y-Wings have this little turret on top, which actually can fire to the rear as well, making them deadlier than you would expect against other Air Force units. So that little turret, really deadly. Droid gunship here, moving around, trying to find some damage with it's pretty strong missiles, and the laser cannons not bad either. As you can see here, dealing a decent amount of damage to the ATTs here as well. Whilst the infantry tries to get closer, Stingers under fire, and the infantry platform from the side here actually doing a pretty good job doing damage, forcing the gunship back, whilst the torpedo units try to move forward. And yeah, this push here not working out. The ATTs coming in time, and they have a lot of firepower all around, and my battle droids don't really have damage to deal with them, as Armored Assault Tank moves forward through the center, looking pretty messed up at this point as well, as it's down to only 1 hit point, but the center has to be recaptured. V1 droid does the job. Issue is now that this side is under pressure. The ATT is doing a good job. The Bantam at the infantry support tools here coming in. The Pioneer Clone Troopers moving in their beautiful orange uniforms here. Really good in the close quarter combat situations. Whilst the B2 battle droids try their best here to deal the damage, but only one of them remaining. And it is outnumbered and outgunned now. And there we go. Gets gunned down. As reinforcements currently still going towards the center. Artillery tries its best to deal some damage here. The accuracy of the gun relatively low. The damage is decent, but the accuracy is a big issue. So chances of it actually hitting are relatively low as well, and has a decent aim and reload time, so that is manageable. But you have to be careful there. No big ship on the other side, so the torpedo hyenas currently don't have much to do. The hyenas unfortunately can't switch into the ground mode. They can only all fly, like all of those flyers usually would have a ground fight mode as well. That is currently not the case, and it will be tough to do it that way. With helicopters you maybe could do, but even then when you land them they can't really move, so yeah, that would need some more options for modding. And yeah, Wano also works a lot with reversing, so the ATRTs here can moonwalk backwards as well and get out of dodge, whilst the big push here now for the Phase 1 clones into the town in the south here is happening. Doing a really good job there. Port weapons coming around as well. Droids are in trouble. The ATTEs didn't push with them, so that's a bit of a surprise. Those guys now starting walking towards the center. Artillery hasn't been firing much. Whilst the battle droids get into firing position, droid gunship comes around. We have a multi-troop transport, which is relatively heavy. 20 armor, has decent damage as well. Can 2 slots of transports, and yeah, can carry multiple units. You can put quite a couple of these guys into the big landing ships if you want to do some shenanigans with that. The hyena bombers here miss-microed, don't drop their bombs, whilst the infantry support platform starts to get overwhelmed here. Bird gunship doing its job, bomber coming around again, trying to get rid of the clone troopers, and the bomb does go towards the target. AA doesn't do the job, and the Phase 1 clone troopers at least get annihilated, but the infantry vehicles here, the droids, getting heavily decimated as well. Northern push of some battle droid assassins not quite working out yet, but with the trait now active, you can see them stunning down the enemy in no time here as well. And they have support from some droid gunships. The enemy infantry all heavily stunned down, so they aren't as combat efficient as they should be. And these guys here don't have any weapons, the normal Panthers, so they just stand in the front. These guys do, with the 2 turrets in the front, but their combat efficiency is just heavily tanking. Y-Wing though, doing a good job. Vulture droid comes around, is getting a kill there. Falchion class assault tank not achieving much here, as the hyena bomber tries to come around for the south again. Push there is doing okay, but we have a Juggernaut with phase 1 clones moving in, and this one has good amount of hit points, has good amount of damage as well. 15 hit points, a lot of turrets, 2 laser cannons on it as well, and the rockets that it fires here. So does a good job, and more support is needed against these. Plus the headhunters move around, the droid gunships sitting around here, and yeah, the ATRT is doing a fantastic job. Another headhunter gets gunned down here in the rear by especially the good Proton AAs cannons, doing a good job from the rear. Ion cannon dealing a couple of shots out against these units as well. Juggernaut does get out alive, does get hit another time here, and is moving towards the center. Battle droid assassins in a good spot there, but everything in the south goes down. The Juggernaut takes out some more units. Battle droid assassins in the push here. Bit lost as well, but the Juggernaut does get gunned down by the Battle droid assassins, and that's what I was talking about. These guys with the current rate, even really, really good against vehicles, so that's quite rough. Meanwhile, in the south, AA moving up. The gunship goes down, clones moving around. +1 for the blue side, about to take over. So that's a real big problem now for the droids, needing to reposition. As more AA units coming in here to try to deal with the headhunter. As hyena bombers move around. D1 battle droids moving forward. All around the battlefield here with some of the air-to-air weapon, ground-to-air weapons. That's the A21 XR here that these guys have. Helpful against the hunters, helpful against any flying support units. But ATTFA doing a good job pushing back the torpedoes once as well, and there hasn't been new Venator or so around just yet. We saw these phase 1 clones here moving around, trying to get into a nice attack position. So gunships had to move forward, spotted them, and started lighting them up with the turrets, so that the phase 1 clones there get overwhelmed. Hellfire class droid tanks doing a decent job against the Banthas. Getting the first one. We'll get the second one here as well. Push is happening all around, and this zone still blue. That's a really big issue. There's no units really around currently to help there against all of that. Enemy can't really push deep with the shield generator being around, with the turbo lasers being around. Like, that would be quite risky. The artillery hasn't really done much yet though, for example, and really something that I should have used more at this current state to actually maybe try to get back into some positions, as this is quite problematic. The ATRT has to disengage here. Pretty vulnerable right on top of that thing, but the battle droid assassins here once more just absolutely annihilating. Getting a kill there. The Hellfire rockets here getting some decent shots. Panther goes down. Whilst no Trurikas around. ATRT runners moving around, trying to deal with the battle droids. Assassins get shot down in the front. ATTEs slowly moving forward as well. The bombers here coming around, trying to get some more kills. 2 salvos do land, but Headhunter comes around, and the Vulture droids fail to get the kill, so it gets 2 kills on my guys before the Vulture droids can intercept it and can get kill on it. +1 here, still going on, and now over 100 point lead for the droids over here, for the clones over here. Those are the little transport, the Banthas with the phase 1 clone troopers, the droid assassins here doing a good job getting the Falchi on AA, but power has arrived. New CV for the middle could be viable here up north now, as currently only the south with the snipers really does a decent job, but some bombers could ruin that as well. 3 assassin droids around there. Some more forces need to be brought up in the south, or the deep push in the center. Get to a better position. Whilst we have more AA running up on the other side. Good couple more phase 1 clones. ATTs here coming in decent numbers, and there we go again, as we had a Magnificent out. The Y-Wings do come around again, and well, it's so many of them. They actually have pretty decent damage on all of their turrets, so they just shoot down the Vulture Tomb next to the Magnificent. And yeah, Vulture droids here that come in a bit later can't really do much. Forced to fall back as well. So that's a big problem. Enemy back towards the center. As the clone troopers here moving around, stab coming in. The clone troopers on average a bit more expensive than your average drone, Druidica, but the more expensive droids are on par with what the cost is here. The assassins 45 points, phase 1 clones or RPS here 20, so you can get out a good amount of them. Hyena bomber here coming around will get a kill. Vulture droids moving around. We have some bark speeders. Those are the fast little speeders, and where you should watch out that you don't run into Ewok traps with. As battle droid assassins here just annihilating these guys as well. LAAT gunship. Time to move forward. That's the droid gunship here. Doesn't have any recon, so the RPS-6 can get some decent hits. AA hits the LAAT, gets the kill there. Second one moving around. But units need to push here in the south. And 200 points now. 2 is starting to get ahead. Steps moving around, so something needs to be done here. Battle droid assassins are lucky that they are in the right spot right now, as this might be quite a lot of free units. Panther moving around. Well, it's all of these units here moving around. They can deal the damage. Panther, infantry support platform, all going down. The droid assassins just delivering the whole thing, by also stressing out the enemy and reducing their damage by a lot. Hellfire droid tank fails to do much there. There's 1 clone sitting in the south. Battle droid assassin moving around as well. Southern situation relatively stable. Clones sitting there on the defense, and they need to be dealt with. We have some droid assassins here coming around as well, but they are not good at pushing. So they can just sit around here and maybe help out with fire support once something comes around on their own push, because they need to be stationary for a while before they get the trade. They need to get a bit better. And yeah, artillery could come around. For the units in the center. Ooh. Y-Wing moving around again. The droid only gets a bit of damage. We lose assassins and all the AA units, but the battle droid assassin here doing a good job against the ATT, and that was what I'm talking about. This thing is just pretty insane. Ten minutes nearly now, only to go. 1/4 left, and the capture has to happen in the south to stop the tick. 200 points to get ahead at. Whilst the ATTs coming around. Hyena bomber moving in for it. And does fail to drop there. That's unfortunate. Whilst the ATT in the middle, heavily damaged. Assassins sitting around there, and we have the stabs here coming in with a mountain of power as well. Infantry commandos here moving in. The recon special forces trying to get on top of all of this. Ground forces here in general, relatively tight, especially because you need quite a lot of air force and all pretty expensive as well. The droid assassins here sitting around. The +1 does keep ticking up. Is the problem. Y-wing coming in. Does get stopped, but smoke still does get out. As the Y-wing does go down. PX Commando does go down on the other side. So CV kept in the south. Maybe not the worst idea. As the Vulture does get too close again. Just gets blasted. Mercenaries here sitting around. ATTEs slowly moving forward here all across. Those are the big obstacle right now on the ground for all my units. Checking if anything can deal with that even. Outside of rockets and air attacks. Yeah, both already happened here, so be pushing forward. Battle droids trying to do a good job. The AA sits around. Push now starting to show up here, but there are still a decent amount of infantry all around as well. So this tough one. PX Commandos pushing forward. 8 minutes 20 seconds. The proton cannon does shoot up the phantom, the zones out of phase 1 with the pioneer trait. So those are some orange boys. RPGs 5 just start engaging here. We have zones both captured. Should be, well, no, it depends on how long this has been occupied now. As we are going back to a +1. +1 is only 40 points per minute. That is not going to be enough. The droid gunship, though, that is doing a good job here. And yeah, Empire is in trouble. No, not Empire. No, the Republic, obviously, is in trouble here as the Confederation is pushing forward. Southern push now has to come as well, trying to push in there as we need the +3 here to be safe. 7 minutes to go. Or at least a +2. Gunships engaging the clones, trying to deal some damage there. There's one moving around, and Lena Bomber does get a nice bomb drop out, but does miss completely because there are just no units left there. Another Magnificent coming around, giving fire support. Has to be careful. He's being ordered back as, yeah, there we go. Keto units coming around. But yeah, the vultures come a bit late. All the units got their shots fired out. Got some hits here, and the white wings moving around. Hellfire Storm Tank moving around. Because these guys need to get into a better spot to actually cover this, as +1 is highly contested right now. Vulture droids flying relatively deep, not achieving all that much. E1 Battle Droid Commander going down as well. This is really annoying at this stage, as you will need to replace it, and with only 6 minutes, every second counts. Literally starting to shoot, but no units there just yet. And that is pretty good. The gunships doing a decent amount of work. Opening up fire there, trying to get some of the units finished off. Battle Droid Assassin setting around. We have a good couple of phase 1 clones moving up north, +1 situation. Still ticking, but still not quite enough. More is necessary. So units have to move forward. TV is moving in the south, for example. Battle Droid Assassin and a good couple Other B1 droids moving forward, trying to get in there. That's also still trying to prevent the enemy from easily getting through. And we have a big push here. Good amount of clones moving in, trying to check the north. And the north already was on the move to check the other side there. So, yeah, reaction is necessary. Otherwise, they will just overwhelm the flank. And that is something to bring around planes for. This form ships. And there we go. Hyena bomber coming in. First one dealing decent damage, but not super much. Good amount of vehicle damage, but second one, yeah, finishing off the job. +1 still continues. We see that TX-130, the little support tanks, is doing their best here as fire support against the center units. Droid gunships need to move around. Multi-troop transport, not amazing against this. Druidica just gets annihilated. Nothing really left in this health. +1 still going on. 3 minutes 58. The TX-130 pushes in. Multi-troop transport gets on target, gets the kill. Stab. And the droid gunships doing their best. The battle droid assassins here still holding the ground. Another one there holding any forces to try to push towards center. We have the +2 now with the southern capture. About to go to a +3. That's 120 points per minute, so that would still be enough to get me over the enemy, but not quite into winning territory. But that's what the battle droids here in the middle, next to the burned out Juggernaut Hulk, are for. Trying to get in there. Heavy battle droid pushing forward. And our 99s here moving in, the little caterpillars, and start opening up fire. AT rifles under heavy fire. And the surrounds doing a fantastic job. And with that, we have the +5. And with that, we also have a victory here in the end for the Clankers. The Clankers to win here and to beat the enemy side. Audio, by the way, here different in the menu as well, as you can see here. J1 proton cannon doing a good job against the AA. The assassins, as you can see, really strong. The other ones getting similar amount of results. Stab moving around. Multi-troop transport. Venator moving in as well. We have an ATT FA moving around, getting some gunships killed off. So enemy AA was functioning too. Yeah, this was one of the good hits of the Y-Wings. So good damage there. But in the end, the maybe a bit OP assassins, or the OP assassins for sure helped out. And they maybe carried me here a bit more than usual for sure. As yeah, you can see here that their traits pretty good. The Magnificent's not doing as hot, but in general, really fun game, really fun mod. GGVP to Steel Mercenary. And yeah, there will be a couple of updates in the upcoming days for the mod. One for the mod in general, and then obviously if Fusion updates the game, the mod has to be updated as well. And we'll see how all of that will play out, and then we will also likely organize a tournament on this mod in the relatively near future, in February or March, so keep your eyes open for that as well. If you haven't signed up for Warner League Season 6 or Base Game Warner, you should do that now as well. That's it. See you all in the next one. Bye bye.